Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about each state's bellwether county, and there are a couple different definitions that I'm using throughout this video for bellwether county. The first is the bellwether of the way that the state usually votes, and this is this only works for swing states. Now, if we're talking about it like a bellwether county and state like Wyoming, it's going to be a deep red county because Wyoming never goes blue. So instead, we're going to be taking a look kind of at the closest county in the state, or the state's national bellwether county, or the county in the state that votes most with the national popular vote. So that's basically our definition. You could view this as the state's closest county, and I'm going to make a few mistakes here because I haven't actually calculated it. But we're just going to have a fun time looking at each and every state. So first, I'm actually not going to do Alaska because I have no idea what is because they don't really report their results county by county. They do it by state house, but they don't. Alaska does not report their results, being completely honest with you, so I can't really make make an informed decision on Alaska. Now, North Slope, which has already been disabled, its northernmost county actually did flip from from Clinton to Trump. So that was pretty competitive. Also, there are probably some state house seats in Anchorage that were Trump Biden districts. There were a few actually that were Trump Biden districts. So there are probably you can probably find a few areas in Alaska that vote pretty similar to the popular vote of the rest of the country. But I think with that being said, we should move on to Hawaii, which we're going to start now. Every county in Hawaii is deep blue, so we just have to take a look at this county in Hawaii that's the least deep blue, which I believe is the county in the Big Island. It's deep. This is D plus 37. This one's D plus 35. This one's D plus. Oh, that's also less than 30. That's interesting. So it's actually Honolulu County, which I did not expect. I thought that was the bluest. So Honolulu is the closest county in Hawaii, making it the bellwether. Now, as a Californian, there are a lot of people who disagree with me. Now, there are a couple schools of thought. So first, there are the people who think it's San Bernardino, which is probably the worst county now, or worst opinion. It's not the worst county in the state. I'm not going to say what the worst county in the state is, but San Bernardino County is a county that was a Bush won it twice because he did better with Hispanics than most Republicans, and then it's like 10 points Democratic. So this is a county that's shifted to the left, but it's called a bellwether by some because it's only been wrong once in the past 20 years, but it's kind of a red herring. It's irrelevant. It's not San Bernardino. Then there's also Inyo County, which was a Trump Clinton, or which was a Trump Biden county. So it's pretty accurate, generally speaking. I also went for Obama twice, and I believe Bush twice. Now, here's the issue with I'm going to say Butte County. Butte County is up here. Butte County was a Trump Biden county, and the issue that most people have with Butte is because Romney won it, and I disagree. I just like Butte County, so for that reason, I'm going to say that the Butte's the bellwether. Probably followed closely by Inyo, but Butte I like more. Then in terms of Oregon, it's really either Clackamas or Deschutes County. Deschutes and Clackamas is more suburban Portland, and Deschutes is kind of half rural, half suburban, where you have Bend, which is the largest city in the county. And it was a 9-point Biden county, and then Clackamas was a 9-point Biden county as well. And there's also Marion County, which was, a narrower county for Joe Biden. And so, I was talking about Deschutes and Clackamas, but since Marion was actually close to the national popular vote, I believe, or actually might be, yeah, it's Marion County. We're gonna have to put Marion, but if this were up to my opinion, not actual data, which I did for California, so I'm skipping around a lot here, but Marion, it wouldn't be Marion, it would probably be Deschutes, because Clackamas is more suburban, so it's trying to the left pretty quickly, whereas Deschutes County is kind of, can the Democrats make inroads in the rurals, and they're trying to think from Bend. So Deschutes would probably be my close second, but either way, doesn't really matter because we have Marion. Now, in Washington, this is actually the longest, most people don't know this, but the longest lasting bellwether county is Clackamas County. This county's been right every election since 1976. So with that, we should move on to the state of Idaho, with the county that closely reflects the popular vote, and that is Latah County, I believe, which is up here. Latah was a 4-point Biden county. It voted essentially with the country, so I think Latah, if I clicked on the right county, I clicked on the wrong county. Latah County is the bellwether, or this Idaho's best bellwether. We also know that Washoe County in Nevada is their best bellwether over there. Washoe generally votes for the winner of who wins the statewide election. There was an exception in 2016 where Catherine Cortez Masto lost the county, but uh, you know, since then it's been really it's been pretty solid for the Democrats. But if the Republicans were to win Nevada, they'd probably win Washoe, which it's a lean D county like the state itself. Now Utah, the counties the Democrats win are generally pretty close. So whether they're talking about Grand County, Summit County, or Salt Lake County, it's probably Grand County. Now that I think about it, because I know Summit wasn't that close in 2020. Salt Lake was an 11-point margin of victory for the Democrats, and then Grand was a little less than that. So I'm going to say Grand County was a low close second. I think you could make an argument for San Juan County, which was a narrow Republican county, but we're going to put Grand. Now, Arizona, we all know it's coming here. It's Maricopa. Maricopa, like Washoe, usually, they're even better than Washoe. Maricopa always gets the winner of statewide elections, right? That's the fact. It's just the way it is. And, they voted for Biden in 2020. They voted for Sinema in 2018. They voted for Ducey in 2018. So I think that this is a county that's pretty reliable when it comes to getting elections right now. In Wyoming, which again we're pretty sure doesn't exist, but Laramie County, which is not Laramie, Albany County, which is the home of Laramie. I got those confused. Is the Bellwether of Wyoming. It's also the only competitive county in Wyoming, but for whatever reason, it's mostly because the University of Wyoming's there, and it kind of offsets the rural turnout from the northern part of the county. But essentially, this county is a county where where it usually votes for the winner for whatever reason. It's hard to explain, but that's essentially it. Now for Montana, Roosevelt County is the bellwether of statewide elections there, and it always votes to the left of the state itself. But just thought I'd bring that up. It's kind of a competitive county when you take a look at it, but it's probably going to be one of these counties over here. Deer Lodge, Silver Bow, Gallatin is a candidate for that, and I think it's going to be Blaine County, because Blaine County was a nearly a 4-point Biden wins, and he won the election by around 4.4. So Blaine County was pretty reflective of the popular vote. So we're going to say Blaine County in the state of Montana. Blaine County, Montana. Whoops, I did not mean to click there. So we've done kind of the West Coast. We can now take a look at New Mexico, where the answer is obviously Valencia County. This is a well-known bellwether. They were right since like the 1960s, and they got it wrong in 2020. Valencia narrowly went for Donald Trump. So Valencia, you can do more research if you're more interested, but Valencia is a county that's generally very accurate, but they got it wrong this year. Now in Colorado, I think we all know that's Pueblo County. We've talked about that before. Pueblo, famous for kind of being the bellwether. It's been trending to the left as of late. And it was safe Republican like decades ago, but now it's gotten more blue. So yeah. Now North Dakota, they don't really have a ton of bellwether counties. They do have a few competitive counties, most notably Cass County, which is where Fargo is. But other than Cass, it's kind of slim pickings here. The Democrats only won 2 counties, and they won them both by landslides. These are mostly Native American counties, so we're gonna have to go with Cass, which is a Republican-leaning county, but it was the closest of the states, so we're kind of stuck with what we got here. Now in South Dakota is another county where we have kind of slim pickings, but I think that we're going to have to settle for Clay County unless one of these counties is closer. I think Zibic County was closer, with 9-point margin of victory for the Democratic Party, but Corson County, which is kind of the bellwether of the state usually, or not really the bellwether, it's the swing county in the state, it's more Democrat-leaning in the state, but this county right here was more reflective of the popular vote, so I think we're going to go with that. Now, in Nebraska, I think it's going to be the county that Lincoln's in. I'm not sure, though. Lancaster County was an 8-point Biden county. Douglas was an 11-point Biden county, and then there is Thurston, which was, fun fact, the only county that John Kerry won in the states. But we're going to have to go with Douglas County, which is the home of Lincoln. It's a very white county, but if the Democrats get good enough support from the Lincoln area, they can do better there. Now in Kansas, it's probably going to be Riley County, which was a 4-point or 4.5-point Biden county. So Riley was kind of right on with the national vote. So we're going to go with Riley, which is actually where the university, or which is where Kansas State is. And I only know that because, I've unfortunately been engaged in a lot of Kansas discourse on Twitter. But anyways, Riley County, interesting county, and it was the county that in Kansas was most reflective of the popular vote. So Oklahoma, it's going to be Oklahoma County. This was the only county that was decided by less than 2 points in the state, and it, of course, still went red. So that's it. But I think it's important that we move on to Texas. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about in Texas. Now, we can make the argument for a few counties. So now, I think that since Biden did so atrociously with, is that even a word? I think I might have butchered that. Since he did so poorly, you could say Culberson County. There are a lot of counties you could say in the Rio Grande Valley, but since Biden did so badly that we're just gonna kind of get rid of that. Now there are a few more candidates. Now there's always Fort Bend and Harris, but those are trending blue pretty quickly. We shouldn't talk about those. There's Bexar, which is trending blue. All these kind of counties around here are trending blue. There's Hayes. There is Travis isn't. There's Williamson. There's Hayes, and there's Tarrant. So the most reflective of the popular vote this year ended up actually being Hayes, Hayes was in a 11 point Biden County. So we're gonna go with Hayes County if I can find that on a map. Hopefully I don't click the wrong county. That would be very embarrassing. I think this is Hayes County. That should be Hayes. Hopefully, do they have the sidebar where they show you what county it is? No, they don't. Well, we're gonna have to go with my gut, which is that's the county. So now going over to Minnesota, I'm pretty sure I know the county that we're gonna talk about, but just in case, just so I don't misspeak, Minnesota. There are a few counties, of course, but my guess is that it's gonna be Carleton County, which was a 2-point Biden, 1.5 point Biden county, but I could be wrong. So it looks like we have a few options here. We have Clay County, which was a 4-point Biden county. We have Lake County, which was a 3.5 point Biden county, and then we have Homestead, which was a 11. No, we don't need that. So it looks like we'd have to go with Clay County, actually, which I did not expect. Clay County was only around half a point off from the national popular vote. It's also next to Cass County, which might have helped it shift to the left. So we have two Bellwethers right next to each other. So yeah. Now let's go down to Iowa. They have a lot of competitive counties, but I think we know what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna be Story County. Oh no, I was really wrong. It's definitely not Story County. I was expecting to Story though, but it's not. So it looks like we're gonna be stuck with Scott County, because Scott County, for those of you who don't know, is where Davenport. Well, you can see it on the map. This is where Davenport, Iowa is, and it is a pretty competitive county. So we're gonna have Scott, Iowa, be the Bellwether County for that state. For Missouri, it's St. Charles County. We don't need to talk too much about that. I think most of you know that. For those of you who don't know, this is suburban St. Louis, and this was a 17-point Trump county, but it usually decides the winner of the state. But I think since we're actually, that's usually the bellwether of the state, actually. So I think we should actually go with the national average rule. We're going to have to actually say that it was probably Platte County, Platte County, which was close to the national average. So Platte County, we're going to have that instead of St. Charles. But remember, whoever wins St. Charles usually wins the state of Missouri, but I forgot to factor that in. Now for Arkansas, I don't really know what we're going to do here. Arkansas, going down to these counties. We have a few competitive counties like Desha County or Lee County. So we're going to go with Lee because that was a less than 5-point Biden County, which is essentially the margin he won the popular vote by. So we're going to say that Lee County is the bellwether if I can find. Hopefully that's Lee County. I better not have gotten that wrong. That would be bad. No, I got that right. So that's Lee County, Arkansas, then Louisiana, some parish that I don't know anything about Louisiana politics, being completely honest. I'm going to say Iberville Parish is where we're going to go with. Iberville Parish, right down here. Iberville Parish, kind of that big one in the middle. So now, moving on to Florida, which is a state that I actually have a bit of knowledge on politically. There are a few schools of thought, and I'll label them. There's Duval, there's Pinellas, there is St. Lucie, and there is Monroe. Now, there are also, there's some more counties we can talk about in Florida that are, more competitive, like Seminole, but I think that we should mostly talk about these four. Now, Monroe is a county that the Democrats in 2020 did pretty poorly in because they did poorly with Hispanics. But in 2018, Bill Nelson won the county despite losing to Rick Scott. So, now Monroe's kind of weird. It's a little wonky, so I'm just going to say no to Monroe. Then there's Pinellas, there's Duval. Duval is trending to the left pretty quickly, so I don't want to talk about that. It'll only be relevant for a few more election cycles before it goes deep blue. So we're stuck between Pinellas and St. Lucie. And since St. Lucie voted a little bit to the right of the, kind of like it voted like 5 points to the right of the national average, and Pinellas was only 3 points to the right of the national average. We'll go with Pinellas for right now, but of course that could change. And these are all interesting counties to watch for the future. Now in Mississippi, I don't really know too much about Mississippi to decide here, but I think Warren County is a candidate, Jasper County as well. So we're just gonna have to go with. It looks like we're gonna go with Okatiba County, if I even got that right. I've never even heard of that county before. So Okatiba County, if I even labeled that correctly. I really hope let's find it. Let's see. Okatiba County. Yeah, that's Okatiba County. So Yeah, we've got that. That kind of reflected the popular vote of the country. Then in Alabama, there are not a ton of competitive counties in Alabama. There are a few, but not really. We're kind of stuck with Russell County or one of these counties, but it looks like Russell's going to be our only option for right now. So we're going to go with Russell County, being the bellwether of Alabama, which is kind of weird because it's like these are some pretty small counties that we're selecting. So Russell in Alabama, then in Georgia, there are a lot of counties we can talk about in the state of Georgia, and I think it's important that we kind of go through this quick because this could be a very long video. But in Georgia, there are some suburban Atlanta counties that were really close that did reflect the national popular average. Like I think Cobb was pretty close. Fayette was decent. Some of these counties down here, we're gonna have to pick an obscure county I've never heard of, which is annoying because I wish I could just know it off the top of my head. But I think we're gonna select Sumter County because that was that's yeah. Sumter County was only a 5 point Biden county. And that's kind of the amount that you won the popular vote by. So I'm going to say Sumter County right there is going to be our bellwether for the state of Georgia. Now in South Carolina, I don't really know much about South Carolina politics either, so we're just kind of have to go with the county that I see that makes sense for me. And I think we're going to end up going with probably with Jasper County, although probably Jasper, or actually Clarendon County, because even though it's the Trump county, Clarendon was the closest to the national popular vote average. Now, going up to Tennessee, I know for a fact there are not a lot of close counties there. It's there's Haywood, and then that's pretty much it. So I think Haywood's probably going to be our only option at this point, but I could be wrong. So if I have any Tennessee politics enthusiasts in the comment section, be sure to correct me down below because I'm not even going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about in terms of Tennessee. But I think we should move on to North Carolina. We have a few options, mostly because it's a pretty big state. But North Carolina, anyways, there is always I went to the wrong county. I was going to say there's always Jackson County, but I forgot that went red in 2020. But doesn't totally include it. We just should look at blue counties first because Biden won the election. Now, Anson County is a good candidate because it was pretty close to the popular vote average, national popular vote. So I think we're going to go with Anson County after looking at a few of these competitive Democratic counties. Anson, which is right there. Anson, narrow, Bellwether County for Biden. Now, in Kentucky, there's one, I'm forgetting the name of it. I think it's like Rowan County or something. Where's Rowan? Oh, that's Rowan. I was thinking of the wrong county. That's definitely not the Bellwether. But Franklin was pretty close to national average. So I think we're going to have to go with Franklin because these two blue counties were 20-point Biden counties. So in Franklin County, it's kind of in between these two. So which one's Franklin? There we go. Franklin. Hopefully that's Franklin. If I got that wrong, my apologies. I could be completely wrong here, but I think that's it. So Kentucky, we've got Franklin County. In West Virginia, we're gonna have to go to the closest red county, which I think was Mongolia County. It's either that or Kanawha County. I think it was it was definitely Mongolia. So Mongolia was actually pretty close in 2020, and it came it was 5 points to the right of the national average. Now, in Virginia, Virginia, I don't know too much about the counties. I know a decent bit about the politics of the state, but not the counties. So we're just going to go with the first we see, which is Montgomery. If I can even find that on a map. I wish I was better. Like I wish YPMS actually labeled counties. Now, it's a pretty good site, so I'm not going to complain about too much. We're just going to click on that because I think that's the county. But that's it for Virginia. Now, moving on to the Midwest, the Rust Belt area. I talk about this a lot. Door County, Wisconsin is my favorite bellwether in the state. There are a few others, kind of working class counties, but I think Door is the best because it's suburban, but it's not trending to the left because Obama did win it. I think even Kerry or Gore might have won it. So, again, this county is pretty good with reflecting the national popular vote. Now in Illinois, I have a suspicion for who it's going to be, but I'm not going to make that guess because I haven't been good in the past. But some of these counties are pretty close. And McLean County was I know I was thinking McLean and Kendall right there. So I think we're going to go with McLean County because I know a little more about it. Plus, I like the name more because Don McLean is a good singer, a good artist, I guess I could say, because he plays guitar and he's good at it. But anyways, I think we should stop talking about my taste in music and more about my taste in Bellwether County because that's what you guys are here for. So, now, there are a few interesting counties in Michigan, most notably Kent and Oakland County are my favorites to talk about. Kent was I think it was a flip from 2020 or from 2016. So we're gonna go with Kent because it was a 6-point Biden county. It voted a little bit to the left of the country, but it still is a pretty good bellwether. Now in Indiana, you know, in past years we would have said Vigo because Vigo's gotten it right like every year since 1950 or since 1950 since the 1950s, but it was pretty solid for Trump this year. It has gotten pretty red. It's trended to the right, and then Obama in 2012 was the last Democrat to win it. So I think Vigo is a county that at this point is irrelevant in politics, unfortunately for them. So we're gonna have to look at some other counties, and I think we're gonna go with St. Joseph County because that is a county that Biden won by 6%, unless there's like a narrow Trump county, which there's an insanely narrow Trump county, I don't think. So we're going to go to St. Joseph County in Indiana. Now in Ohio, I think that in past years it probably would have been, something like Trumbull County, or Trumbull up here was a 10-point Trump county though. So we're kind of stuck with what we got here. Taking a look at these counties, Montgomery County was a 2-point Biden county. And that's pretty much it for the Democrat. I mean, pretty much it because Montgomery was the closest county that Biden won the state, and it's we're probably gonna have to look at some more Republican counties or counties that Trump won at least, like that are really close. And looks like our best candidate for that would probably either way. Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna have to go with Montgomery County as the bellwether of Ohio. But again, that it's subjective because it was the state's most reflective of the national average county, but again, it's not necessarily the state's bellwether because this is a county that usually does go Democrat, generally speaking. Now, let's move over to the state of Delaware, and it's easily this county. I think it's Essex or Sussex County. I think it's Kent County. My bad. This is Sussex County, but Kent County was a Trump Biden county. It's where Dover is, but it's pretty rural, other than the capital of the state. So it's generally speaking a bellwether. Definitely the most competitive county in the state. And in Maryland, we have Frederick County, we have Talbot County, and we of course have Kent County. There are a lot of Kent counties on the East Coast. Now, we're kind of stuck with what we got here because there are only a handful of Trump counties, and most of them weren't that close. There were a few competitive ones, like Weocomico County. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that completely, but we'll probably have to roll with a Biden county like Frederick County, which I think is the closest to the popular vote. Actually, no, it's not. I think we're actually going to go with Kent County, which, as I mentioned, 1.3% margin of victory for Biden. So I think we're going to go with Kent County. And this was a Trump county in 2016. So Biden, Kent County, bellwether of the state of Maryland. Now for Pennsylvania, I think we know what this is. And it's Erie County. Erie County is a county that usually votes the winner of the state. It usually does vote a little bit to the left of the country, but it was pretty good in 2020. It voted only a couple points to the left of the country. Or actually, I think it voted to the right of the country for the first time in a while. It was a 1-point Biden county. So, again, Erie County is more subjected to the state of Pennsylvania as a whole. Now, I'll try to finish this up. Going over to the state of New Jersey, we have to take a look at some of their counties. I'm not too familiar with New Jersey counties. I know my good friend Lucas from Red Donkey Projections would be happy to help me out, but unfortunately, this is not a collaboration video. I wish it was at this point. But, I'm kind of noticing there are some Trump counties that were kind of Trump +4, which is a good number for the national average. We should try to find a Biden county like Morris County. This is pretty good. This is a Biden +4.2 county. So I'm going to say we'll go with Morris County, which was most reflective of the national average. I think I got that. Yeah, Morris County. Now, up the state of New York, there are a few interesting counties. I think we could take a look at Long Island for a second over here, as there was a relatively close Biden County, Nassau. We can also take a look at Suffolk, which was a very narrow Trump county. He only won it by around 200 votes. But I don't think that we're going to use either of these counties, as we can find some more counties. This was a Biden +2 county. Rockland, Ulster. We can see Saratoga County was a D plus, or basically a D +5.5 county, which is pretty good. It's only around a point to the left of the country as a whole. So Saratoga we can use. So I think we're going to use this Saratoga, although this is actually D +5 county. Ooh, this one's even better. Clinton County. That is a D. Okay, so we're going to use Essex County. The second most northern, or kind of this pretty northern county in New York, Essex. And I know for a fact that the most competitive county in Vermont is another Essex County, which is right here. Essex County was a 10-point Trump County, but it's actually not going to probably be the Bellwether. It's going to be Orleans County, which is the second most competitive county in the state. So Orleans County, just like I mentioned, Essex. It's kind of the Bellwether. Essex always votes to the right of the state, but if Democrats have really good performance, they can win the county. And now in Massachusetts, these are all deep blue counties. There are a few that are like less than 20-point margins for Democrats, like Hampton County. And then there's also Bristol County. So we're going to use Bristol County. Bristol was only a 12-point Biden county. When you say that, sounds crazy. And then we have to go over to Connecticut. Connecticut's interesting in that there are only two solid blue counties, Hartford County, and as well as I think this is like a Fairfield County. I shipped it with Middlesex, but there's some more slightly competitive Biden counties, but I think we're gonna have to use a Trump county here, the closest Trump county, which was Windham County. Windham County probably be the bellwether of Connecticut. Now in Rhode Island, we can go over here. Kent County was a Trump county in 2016, flipped to Biden, so we're gonna use Kent County definitely, as it was actually a bellwether. Then in New Hampshire, I know there are a lot of New Hampshire political junkies that we can, that are going to be happy to correct me on this. But I think, this, first of all, my favorite New Hampshire county is easily Coos County. Excuse me, not Coos County. But, all New Hampshire counties are pretty, they're pretty close. So, first of all, I think that Merrimack County deserves a mention because it was only a 10-point Biden county. And then we can also take a look at Carroll County, which was a 2-point Biden county. Stratford was a 15-point Biden county. Hillsborough was an 8-point Biden county. Cheshire was a 17-point Biden county. Sullivan was basically a 3.5-point Biden county. And Rockingham was a 2-point Biden county. So we're going to have to use Sullivan for right now. Sullivan as a bellwether, New Hampshire. And lastly, going to the state of Maine. I think that's it. Unless I missed, it'll be really annoying if I missed one, but I think I got everyone. Going over to the state of Maine. Maine. We can take a look at that. I think we're going to either be stuck with Kennebec County or Androscoggin County. That's interesting. Waldo County. We can use Waldo County. So Waldo was nearly a 5-point Biden county, which is only around 0.4% off from the national popular vote. So Waldo did a pretty good job of reflecting the national popular vote. So I think Waldo County will be our final bellwether. So 49 excluding Alaska. So I think we got every state there. So this was one of my longer videos, and but I hope you enjoyed. This is a video. I know it might not get a ton of views. The reach isn't that big, but for those of you who really enjoy going deep into this, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one.